Discuss matters money, business and wealth creation on our live stream only on Metro Business Cafe. They say when it starts making sense, then...
Indeed, every shilling does count. However, there's a more important question that we need to ask ourselves. What counts more? Is it the physical amount or is it your mindset?
Doesn't matter how much it is, but where you put it and what you do with it.
Starting this and every Thursday, join us on our live stream from 7 to 9 p.m. as we discuss matters money, business and wealth creation on our live stream only on Metro Business Cafe. They say when it starts making sense, then every shilling counts.
Indeed, every shilling does count. However, there's a more important question that we need to ask ourselves. What counts more? Is it the physical amount or is it your mindset?
Doesn't matter how much it is, but where you put it and what you do with it.
Starting this and every Thursday, join us on our live stream from 7 to 9 p.m. as we discuss matters money, business and wealth creation on our live stream only on Metro Business Cafe. They say when it starts making sense, then...
Ourselves. What counts more? Is it the physical amount or is it your mindset?
Doesn't matter how much it is, but where you put it and what you do with it.
Starting this and every Thursday, join us on our live stream from 7 to 9 p.m. as we discuss matters money, business and wealth creation on our live stream only on Metro Business Cafe.
Abilities.
Well, my own children. We're being told in a day billions of shillings are being borrowed by Kenyans. How do we change now then our mindset?
So we are here, and this is ideally what this financial literacy course is meant to achieve. That we want to change that mindset of us being net borrowers. We want our members, potential members, our viewers, to take a different approach and embrace the whole aspect of savings.
An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. Liabilities is the opposite of asset. Anything that removes money from your pocket
It's a liability.
is a liability. Your children, are they assets or liabilities?
Well, my own children.
You know, kids will always be asking for things, whether it's school fees and all those things. So you can start planning early enough. But if you block your mind and no, how can you call children liabilities? You're shying away, you're running away from the reality of what is.
The hard truth.
So what happens is a lot of parents get hit. Oh, my child is 3 years supposed to go to school. Now they start knocking at the Sacco. Can I take some loan for school fees? Always aim to increase your assets, because by virtue of increasing your assets, you're starting to build wealth. We need to break these assets into two parts. The first one, we call it the cash flowing assets.
Cash
Flowing assets.
Okay.
And the second one will be non-cash flowing
Assets.
assets.
Uh-huh.
So what you do when you're starting is you try and build what we call the cash flowing assets. So cash flowing assets are assets that are bringing money to you on a regularly basis. Non-cash flowing asset means, yes, they'll increase in value, but they're not bringing money to you on a regularly basis.
What we normally do is that we save after taking care of all the expenses. But we should first save, then whatever now is left is what now
is what we'll use to
meet now the other obligations.
Yes.
So that now we change that narrative. Instead of saving what is left, we now commit what is left after saving.
After saving.
Yes.
Income, in simple terms, is money, again, getting into your pocket. Expense is money coming out of your pocket. Then cash flow is the way money flows. There are three ways of how money flows. Okay? So the first way money comes in, let's think about what we talked about, how we raise our children. So we've blocked them from learning about money. So what do they observe? They observe us spending. So when you're taking them to the shop, to the supermarkets, and all the time they're just seeing money coming out, they start associating money with, every time you get money, it has to do what?
It has to buy.
So we call this cash flow one habit. So the second one is, when you get money here, you think of a car. So it flows down here, okay? So they buy the car from this point, and then the car starts consuming through fuel and garage, so money comes out here at the expense. This is what we're calling cash flow two.
Yeah.
So this third one, now the way it works is, money comes in through income, and the first thing that it does is it goes to purchase an asset.
Straight on.
Yes. And the focus here is actually the cash flowing asset. You should always target to follow cash flowing habit number three.
You can keep on talking to us. Our number is 0790 0790300
I'll be covering, savings and things like those ones. And I'll be showing you that when you're saving, you must not just save for the sake of saving, because that's what most people do, but you must have a goal that you're aiming.
we said some call it legal tender, others call it currency. People have different names for it, but it all brings us together as a world. It's the one thing that makes us speak the same language. It's called money. And the biggest thing about money is how we spend it, how we go through about it. It's called currency. And currency is supposed to flow. It's supposed to come in and get out. But the question is, as it's flowing in and out, in between, what do you do with it? And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about on Metro Business Cafe. Good evening. Welcome. My name is Michael Njenga. This is Metro Business Cafe, and we're glad that you are with us. This is our fourth episode talking about wealth creation and changing our mindset about money. And as we talk about it, I'd like to hear from you. Our SMS line is 0790000333. 0790000333 is our SMS line. You can also WhatsApp us on the same line. That's 0790000333. You can talk to me, Mike Njenga, on Facebook. You can also talk to me, Michael Njenga, at Twitter. You can also talk to us on Metro. You can also talk to us on Dreamers Africa, Club Africa. We'll talk about it right in the next few minutes. Good evening and many thanks for joining us. I have Benson Mwangi, CEO, Metropolitan National Sacco. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
A lot of people have been telling me we need those guys to come now and start talking to us wherever we are. As much as they're enjoying the show, they're saying, bring them to our groups, bring them to our chairmans, let them come and talk to us. I know we'll be arranging for that pretty soon. And like I said, if you'd like us to come to where you are and talk to you about these issues, about money, about changing our mindset, about creating wealth and not riches, you can talk to us. Our SMS line is 0790-000-333. Karibu sana. Say hi to the viewers tonight.
Good evening, viewers. Thank you for joining us tonight. Today we want to take you through an important topic where we want to address the money cycle, the optimal money cycle. And in particular, we are also going to take them through our viewers on spending and savings.
Spending and savings.
Yes. And definitely we shall have fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Andrew, welcome.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
We have been talking about mindset, changing our mindset.
Yeah.
And last week we went through a couple of things. I remember as we were doing our investing, as we were doing everything else.
Yeah.
And people have been saying we are really waiting to hear what's going to happen tonight. I can see already people have started writing. I have Lillian Waiwa. Lillian Waiwa, by the way, is one of our biggest fans on this show. Thank you very much, Lillian. She says, hi, Mike. Kindly today touch on impulse buying and money discipline when it comes to the same. What do you have for us tonight as you say hi to our viewers? And then again, briefly take us through a recap of what we learned last week.
Okay. So good evening, viewers. Again, it's an honor to be here as we continue this journey of actually, opening up our minds. And today I want to start off by, this week I was in Machakos and I just happened to be somewhere where karaoke was playing. And I realized that these songs they're very common. People like performing them during the karaoke. And I listened to one by Bob Marley called Redemption Songs.
Redemption Song.
Yeah.
Yes.
And on the second stanza, it hit me that a lot of people listen, but they don't hear. He says, emancipate yourself
from mental
slavery.
Yes.
None but ourselves
can free
our what? And
yes.
it really made me think deep about this, because when we think about slave, what tends to come to our minds is, Africans who were shipped for about 400-500 years back, that physical movement. But we forget that even here, you can actually be a slave. And the best way of controlling someone without using physical form is actually control the way they think. Because if they control the way you want them to think, they'll never deviate from that. Because that feeds into the subconscious mind. And that is now why I keep saying it all starts with the mindset. It is not about the physical money. It's about this. So many of us are slaves here, but we don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I really appreciate what Metropolitan National Sacco is doing with this. I meet people, I'm starting receiving calls like, I've been in this world for 50 years and I've never thought of it that way. That tells it's a turning point and something is starting to happen in this great country of ours. So I wanted to bring that point out based on that song. It's only ourselves who can free our minds. If you don't free your mind, then the default set will take up. And that one, you're guaranteed is not going to lead you to financial freedom that you're looking for. So always we'll be going back to the mindset. So having said that, a quick recap. We started, of course, by talking about the mindset. I'm not going to delve into that again. And it's important as people continue learning this thing, they should always go back and check what is the conscious mind telling me to do. And am I struggling with what the conscious want? Because if you're struggling so much, then that's a pointer to what the subconscious is all about. So if you're struggling so much, keep up. Because what you're basically doing is you're now starting to actually demolish the monster. It's just that it's so huge, but it will take time.
But bit by bit.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm reminded of a quote I read sometime this week where it says, how do you explain how water cuts a rock? And it's not strong or sharp. It's persistent.
Soft. Yes.
So when you're persistent in anything, it means the conscious tries to replace, to reprogram the subconscious. So that was the main message around that now. So once you get that view about that, the next thing was, then how do you make money? And that's when the cash flow quadrant came into place.
Yes.
And we saw there are only 4 possible ways. Now at that point we asked ourselves, which side can lead us to financial freedom quickly? And we saw it's actually the right-hand side. So we said the least we should target for ourselves as a start of point, having developed the proper mindset, is to have one leg on the right side and the other on the left side. It's a starting point. Because we know now, bora nimeweka mguu pale, I know where I'm heading now, and I know financial freedom is going to come through that. Now, once you understand there, the next part now you come understand the 5 keywords I talked about, where I said if you really are serious about financial freedom, there are 5 words you must know. So we talked about income, expenses, assets, liabilities, and cash flow.
And cash flow.
All right? And out of that, if you'll allow me just to quickly, I've been getting a lot of calls on this one.
Yeah,
so
please do.
I can just do a recap.
And by the way, we keep looking forward to that chart. It's one of the charts that we are always looking forward to.
Thank you. It's good to hear that. So we have income, and we have expense, then we have assets, and we have liabilities. So I said these 5 words, once you understand them very well, you don't even need to understand others. This is enough. But now the idea is what I talked about where I said the word cash comes from the word currency. You keep repeating that.
Yes, currency.
And currency means current to flow. So we are looking at how money flows.
So it's fluid, it's moving.
Yes. Now if you do not understand how it flows, it will pass right in your finger and you're not going to be able to catch it. And that's why here people say, nalipagwa, lakini mwisho wa mwezi sijui pesa inaendaga wapi. That's a pointer. It's flipping through your, yes, you know you receive money, but somehow you can't account where it goes. So that's a wrong programming in your mind. And this is it. So we talked about the cash flow quadrant here, and we said it's bringing money here. Okay? So there are only 3 ways of how money flows. And each individual has one of these. Now, if you're not aware of that, it's not going to have any impact on you. But the moment you're able to understand these 3 and you see where you are, it's sort of a slap, wake up. Okay? So the first one, we said money comes in here, and then it goes out at this point. So we call this one cash flow 1.
Yes.
It's a habit. And this one, we said it's very common to most Kenyans because this is how we are wired since we're very small.
Money in,
Money out.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what you accumulate in your subconscious. Okay? Now, when you get to the level of the teen, we brought in an element of celebrities. And we said they start showing you what to spend the money on. So money comes in and I start thinking about what can I buy? Purchasing
Assets.
an asset. And we emphasized, for starters, make sure it's a cash flowing asset, such that this will start now generating revenue for you here. So this becomes cash flow number 3. Now, for any parent outside there, this is what you need to start teaching your child from a very young age.
Cash flow number 3.
Yes. And not just your kids, but the secret to wealth is actually following this. Okay? And this one, now today's topic is very important because now we're going to come and connect this to why savings is very important. And that's why the money cycle comes in. What is the best way of optimizing the money cycle? So from these 3, at Dreamers, we call this the poor mindset. So I don't care how much money you have, as long as you're showing you have this habit, you
Cash
have a
flow
poor
number
mindset.
1.
Yes, that's poor mindset.
Yes.
Cash flow number 2, we call it the rich mindset. So these are people who, when you observe them physically, they seem to be doing very well in life. Okay? But the moment they lose that job, we all wonder what happened to them. Suddenly they just seem to be going so down. It's because of this, the liabilities.
Because my money comes in, and then I go straight to liabilities.
Yes.
And then the liabilities will put me into expenses.
Exactly. So if you're a CEO of a big company and you're driving a very big car, the company is probably fueling for you. So from us who are outside, we'll see the big car. We won't have the idea that the company is fueling for you. You're probably even paying for your rent or your house. But the moment you lose that job, all those privileges do what?
The end.
And that's what we observe with so many. You live and hear of celebrities, houses are being auctioned and things like those ones. It's a habit of number 2. And this is what we're programming our children to be.
To go to cash flow 2.
Exactly. So what we're saying here, I said we have rules that we teach our members to follow. The first one was always aim to build your assets. The focus should always be on assets. Secondly, is always aim to develop a habit of cash flow number 3. So if you have got the right mindset from what we've talked about, review to yourself and ask yourself, which of these 3 am I? If in 1 and 2, then the first step is to start changing to form, make sure that you form habit number 3. And this is what we're coming to discuss now today. Then finally, and this is very powerful, by understanding the things I've taught you about the mind. A child or a society that is being brought up from a very young age, it's always a focus of income. Our society has programmed us to always think about income. What's my next income? If you get a job as a teller, you're so excited, finished university, I've just started my first job, it's a bank, it's a Sacco. Once you sit on that, now the next thing you want to become, you want to go to your supervisor level.
Yes, yes.
What's driving you?
Income.
Once you get to that supervisory position, you want to move to the next one. What's driving that? income. Okay? The next thing you want to be a branch manager. The next thing you want to move to headquarters. The next thing you want to be a deputy CEO. The next, all that is driving this is income. So by default, our focus is always here. Side hustle. Why are you setting up a side hustle? To generate more income. That's the talk. All right? And if that is the talk, it tells you what we are storing in our minds. We are storing what? And we talked about what you think about, you do what?
You attract.
So we are focusing on the wrong part. What needs to do is a shift from here to here. So as a teller, I'm not thinking about my supervisory position. What I'm thinking about is I must buy an Uber by the end of this year. Okay? So if I want an Uber, that's my focus, asset, not income. Because now when you shift your mind to here, remember your mind attracts what you're, so it will start finding its way the way it works. And as we move on to the topic today, you'll see why this will work very well and why it does wonders.
So we need to shift from income
to assets. Yes.
That it's not all about, because the reason why I'm asking this before we go to Benson is because every time I'm in a job, I'm thinking I'm a young reporter.
Yeah.
Then I want to be a senior reporter.
Yes.
Then after that, I want to be a news anchor. Then I want to be a senior news anchor. Then after that, I want to be an editor. I want to grow through the ranks.
Exactly.
You know?
But why do you want to grow that? What's the motivating factor of all that?
Income.
Exactly. And that's where we go wrong.
So we need to do something called the mind shift.
Exactly. So we won't focus on this now.
Oh my God.
And the assets.
Yes.
The cash flowing.
The cash flowing assets.
The cash flowing assets.
Yes.
We'll get to that point because I remember last time we spoke about assets and different types of assets.
Correct.
Cash flowing assets. You'll be telling us a little bit about the cash flowing assets. But there's something you have said that is also changing my mind. Mind shift.
Great.
Is that the reason why water will cut a stone? Is because of the consistency. The persistence. And the persistence.
Precisely.
The persistence, and then the water will, one day the rock will, will split open.
Exactly.
Then here comes COVID, Benson.
Yeah.
And it has changed us. We all knew income. A lot of us were told, kazi kwisha. Not redundance.
Yeah.
Not that you're fired, but you're holding. It started with 30% off. A few days later, a month later or a month or two later, it went to, we're not sending you home, but we'll not be paying you.
Yeah.
But I've always been thinking about income, not assets, and more so not cash flowing assets. What has this done, especially to organizations like Saccos? Because I've been known to do something called check-off. That every month I have 5,000 shillings check-off that comes straight to the Sacco. And here I am, there's no money coming into the Sacco. Then at this point, what are some of the shifts have you seen, and how are you dealing with it? One, as Metropolitan National Sacco, and two, while you're trying to educate your members.
What I would like for us to say is that the sectors that were mainly affected by COVID, generally all the sectors were affected, but there are those ones that were affected more than others. For example, the hospitality industry. Again, looking at most of the private schools, because again, we went for almost a whole year when all schools had been closed, including the private schools, and most of them, they lost their jobs. And that, to some extent, if you look at, for example, those members who had outstanding obligations with the Sacco, they really struggled here and there, servicing those obligations. Others made requests for loan restructure, and it heavily impacted on the operations of our Sacco. And what we had to do is that we had to consider measures, agile measures, and we had to even change the way we do business. For example, previously, such an education would be conducted physically. We are seeing now we are doing this virtually. The same thing we also did with our AGM. And I think the most important lesson that we have learned in the course of this COVID pandemic is that, yes, COVID has affected businesses, but to some extent it has also created opportunities. And we are actually riding on those opportunities. And that's the reason why we have been able to make sure that our business has remained afloat. Yes.
And as we teach the members tonight, and all the nights that we'll be doing this every Thursday, the mind shift. How are you training people to change their mind shift? Because coming soon, very few people will be employed. Very few people will be employed. Will be in Yamakema,
yes,
talking to vendors. Will be in Gekomba, Light Park, talking to guys.
Yes.
How are we going to change the mind shift from guys to, hey guys, let's start saving?
The first thing is for us to appreciate that we live in a very dynamic environment. And that's the reason why the topic for the day is very, very important. That we need to inculcate the culture of savings. Because again, if you look at those members who are not saved, they were significantly affected by COVID. And you can see even, for example, nowadays, meetings being conducted virtually, people working from home. So meaning some of the, for example, some of the people that previously owned the premises and were getting rental income, and possibly they are using that income to service their obligations with the Sacco. Right now they're not able to do it, because if we are working from home, then it means if we had occupied a whole floor office space, definitely we have reduced that to a smaller office. And that is what has been happening all over. So the most important message, Bona Mike, is that we need to start saving for a rainy day. It's very, very important. Yes.
And I know we'll get to that point where, because again, so many people are saying, yes, I'm saving for a rainy day. Then what? Then when I need money, like for example, one of the biggest thing I was reading yesterday, one of the biggest thing with Saccos is that when the rainy day came is when people are told go home, and people want their money back because I don't have money. I did not do anything that is going to assets, and cash flowing assets. So I need my money back.
Yes. and that's why, Bona Mike, it's important that the message that we have been trying to share with our viewers is that they need to save and need to save in cash flowing assets. And in our previous shows, I've mentioned that the Sacco has quite a number of products specifically tailored to address that aspect of cash flowing assets, because the products, they give our members that extra income. And to some extent, it would even be important for them even to come back to come and ask for their money. Because if we're able to continuously be able to give them good returns, then they will not need the money, definitely. Yes.
Just in a bit, take us to assets, cash flowing assets, before we even get into the money cycle. Just a bit. I know you touched about it last week, but I want us to just quickly recap on it. Okay. Cash flowing assets, because somebody is now thinking, their mind is now shifting from just income to straight on to cash flow 3.
Exactly. So we're moving the mind from here to here. The idea is, when money is coming from the cash flow quadrant, the first thing that should come to your mind is this.
Yes.
That's the idea. So from there, then we move to your question now, where we ask ourselves, we have assets here. This is our focus. So once we start developing this, we need to understand that there are basically two types. Okay? So the first one, we're calling it cash flowing assets. And the second one, we're calling it non-cash flowing assets. So this is two. So cash flowing assets, in simple terms, are assets that bring money to you on a regular basis. For example, an Uber. At the end of every day, you expect some income to be coming in.
Or any other form of taxi.
Exactly. You know, rental, houses, every month, it's bringing money in. Okay? So that's what we're referring to cash flowing assets. You want to buy an asset that will be bringing some revenue or income to you on a regularly basis. It doesn't matter how much it is. The idea is you're reprogramming your subconscious to shift from the way that things were making things difficult for you. So one mistake people make is they shift and they want to grow so fast. No. There are things that take time. Okay? You can't produce a child in 1 month by getting 9 women pregnant. Okay?
You need to say that again, by the way.
So the things we'll dwell that when it comes to investments.
Yes.
Because I know Kenyans love really rushing through all those ones.
Yes.
And that's why listening to products that they come up with is very key. So basically, cash flowing assets are assets that bring money on a regularly basis. Non-cash flowing assets are assets that will increase in value, but they do not generate money on a regularly basis. So last time we checked, we saw land between the two of you. You purchased it at X amount of money with an aim of selling at Y in the future. You decided to hold on yours until the future date. To him, he said it doesn't make sense. I need to do something with this land before I wait for that day of selling in a way that I can start getting money. So his land became a cash flowing asset. Yours remained
Non-cash flowing asset.
So when we come here, we tell people the focus when you're starting should be cash flowing assets. It's because there's a psychological outcome of seeing that small money trickling in that is going to motivate you to even want to get more. And that's where we're heading with today's topic. So as you keep building up, I'll explain later on, you can target, let's say 3. And then you tell yourself, after the 3rd one, now I'm going to buy a liability. But that liability, I am going to use the cash flowing coming from these first 3 assets. So you're not touching your money. So money starts to work for you.
Tell us, is a business a cash flowing asset, or is it an income?
It is a cash flowing asset.
Because when I decide to open a kinyozi,
Yes.
you know, I've decided to open a kinyozi, and I have several guys working for me.
Yes.
So does it come to asset, or does it just stay there as the income?
Look at it as an asset. Okay? Just think of it in your mind. If you choose to look at it as income, what are you feeling? Then look at it as an asset, a cash flowing asset. Do you feel the difference?
Because it's actually generating income for you.
Exactly. You want to drive, because the whole idea we said of creating wealth is accumulating assets. So if you start, let's say, the first 1 month of the barber shop, and let's say you make 50,000, and you think like, wow, this has brought me 50. Then you tell yourself, how can I make this asset bring more than the 50? So you set yourself a target for next month. Get? So the focus, because the asset, now you want to increase the value of that asset. Okay? So when you're talking to people, you're not going to say, Niko na kinyozi. You tell them, I have an asset, cash flowing asset. That's the attitude you want to have. And you tell yourself, in the next 6 months, I'll be opening a second asset. So the word should always be asset.
And please just allow me to keep asking these questions.
Go ahead.
Then, is it possible for me to juggle assets? And the reason why I'm asking this is that you find Mr. Michael Njenga has Mike's Butchery.
Yes.
At Mike's Butchery, right outside, I have a pickup.
Yes.
Which I used to bring I use my pickup to bring the meat.
Yes.
Then after it's washed, I have a board there written, ask for transport.
Yes.
And then inside the butchery,
You have M-Pesa.
I have M-Pesa. And within that M-Pesa,
Yes.
within that butchery, I have some few chickens back home.
Yes.
And I have eggs. Ask for kienyeji eggs.
Exactly.
So is it possible for me then to start juggling, or should I just focus?
That's a very good question. Now, the kind of wealthy mindset that we want to develop for here is you need to look at all those things you've mentioned as individual assets. Okay? Now, when you do that, if ask for transport starts to fall, it will be easy for you to identify, hey, it's starting to eat up on my this other cash flowing assets. So I need to. The problem with now people, they mix all these things and they look at it as one. So when one part is actually ailing all the others, it becomes something you're not in view about. But now if you think of them as M-Pesa is asset number one.
Okay.
The shop is asset, cash flowing asset number two. As for transport, like that. So every day when you're balancing your book, you're able to see how well is each asset doing. Which one is affecting? Which one
You
is...
have to, sorry to interrupt, you have to keep records for each.
Very important. And now that will come in the next class, where we'll be talking about goals and goal setting. Because now you need a plan. And that plan has to come from what do you wish to achieve. I can't tell you what you'd like for your future. It's you to determine. So by the time when you're finishing with these episodes, when you're starting to set all those things together, you will have a plan of this is what I'm looking for. And I'll be showing people the art of thinking from the end coming back.
Yes.
Not from here going forward.
It's from the end coming
back. You must have that visual, clear goal of what you want. By the end of this year, I want 1, 2, 3. Now, once that is very fixed, remember it's all about the mindset. So you're telling the mind, that is what I want.
And once you tell the mind, you'll attract it.
Exactly. So it makes even things easier for you as you're putting up your plan. You know, in our courses, when we teach people about the goal setting we'll be doing, people tell me, I'd like to be wealthy. I'm like, okay, that's good. But what is wealth to you? You see how loose that word is? Is it 1 million? Is it 10 million? Is it 1 billion? So if you're not clear in your mind, what do you expect? So the more precise you are in your mind, and you're very articulate, this is exactly, the mind also becomes clear. And it works more faster for you.
Then how do you deal with a customer who comes, they want a facility, and you ask, what do you have? And they give you all these things. I have an M-Pesa, I'm keeping chicken, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. How do you explain to them? Like when they come and they need a facility from Metropolitan National Sacco, then how do you deal with it? How do you train them on, okay, I cannot take this, and mind you, all the money is going to the same account. We don't have an account for M-Pesa, we don't have an account for, all the money is going to the same account. So how do you deal with this kind of
Saccos operate in a very interesting way, Mike. The model works starting with savings. Members will come and start savings, build their savings over time, and in the process, what we advise them is that they also make sure that they are doing all their savings, all their business in one basket. So meaning when they come and join the Sacco, we shall open a front office account and also a back office account. The income they are getting from the different investment options or businesses, once they are able now to bank that money with us, at the end of the day, what is very important is what we have just confirmed, records, because we need records. For an M-Pesa, it's very easy because the records are there. They can give us the statements and all that. We can be able to actually analyze and see whether the business is profitable. And what we normally do is when this person comes for a facility, we look at, and this is very critical, as we shall see in our subsequent topics. The most important thing when a member comes for a facility is the ability to service that obligation. Issues to do with security, those ones will come much later. So the main message here is, and is also the same message that we also share with our members, you will come, take a facility, go invest this money in XYZ business. whatever income that you get from the business, you plow it back. You come and start depositing this money in the Sacco. So that if, for example, today you apply for a loan of 1 million shillings and you do qualify, next year when you shall have been able to clear the obligation, you'll qualify for a higher amount, because in terms of the ability to pay, you shall have been able to, or you'll be in a better position to demonstrate that you are able to, you have the capacity to pay more. Because we can see there is the initial income that you have and the subsequent income that you're getting from these investments. So ideally what we expect is these members who will be coming for facilities from us, they bank with us in full, because again, no financial institution will expect you are going there for a loan facility, but when you get the returns from the investment, you take them to another financial institution. So that comes, I mean, it ends up being a relationship that is not symbiotic. So we are here to grow each other. Yes.
And you've said it clearly. We have this mentality that that one, they're the ones who are paying well. Those ones are the ones who are giving higher.
Yes.
So I come take it from here and take it there. So when I come over, you will train me. You will train me on how to keep this relationship between myself and Metropolitan.
Yes. And also more to that, we have also what we call relationship managers to manage the relationship with our customers. So you'll find each and every category of members or customers who have been onboarded. We have specific people who engage these people, find out whether our services are meeting their expectations, you know, whether they're enjoying all the services, key areas of improvement, and you know, we have been very keen this time around to make sure that we are able to meet all our members' demands, be it loans, be it savings, the relationship, you know, the service delivery, always to remain top notch.
Is it okay for me to be in more than one Sacco? Actually, according to the law,
yes.
Am I allowed to do that?
You're not supposed to be a member of 2 Saccos, but what you'll find is that yes, Mike, you can be a member of Metropolitan National Sacco.
Yes. Then
you can also be a member of another society, for example, that deals with milk. Milk, or maybe something to do with coffee.
Like a cooperative?
Yes, that one is allowed.
Okay.
But being in 2 Saccos at the same time, the law is very clear. You're not supposed to be a member of 2 Saccos.
The reason why I'm asking this is because a lot of us are in different Saccos, and we're thinking, let me put some money here, and let me put some money here, so that when I get a loan here, as I'm servicing this, I'm also building this. So I can also take another loan here. It's a case of borrowing from John to pay Janet. You know, I can also get here and I pay this, and the remainder I'll do something. So according to the law, I'm not supposed to do that.
But again, the other question I would want to pose to you: why would you want to be in 2 Saccos? And more or less, they are offering the same service. What we need to do is always ensure that we up our game, which we have done, to make sure that our members are comfortable, they're enjoying the services being offered by the Sacco. For example, this kind of training that we are taking them through, we are the first Sacco to conduct such an education meeting in this country.
Yes.
Yes. So we are very keen in ensuring that we're able to deliver value to our members. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I know, because that's a thing we needed to clarify. A lot of people, and I'm getting so many questions. I mean, this Sacco, I'm seeing the kind of training that is going on with Metropolitan National Sacco. Should I join Metropolitan and still keep on the other Sacco? So we needed to know where and what the law says all about it. And thank you very much for making that clear. I'm seeing a lot of you. By the way, Priscilla, thank you very much. I'm seeing the Dubai fraternity. They are online. They converge in one place and they are watching us.
That's good.
They're online. Thank you very much, Abigail. I'm seeing Helen. Hi, Mike. Where can we meet the trainers? Right here on Metro Business Cafe every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. We will be doing this every Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Modoni Herman would like to catch up with episodes 1, 2, and 3. We'll, as we move on with the show, we'll be telling you how to log in and get yourself those other 3 episodes. They've been fantastic. And remember, it's a build-up. This episode 4 is a build-up of what we've been doing, and that's why we keep on recapping. Elaine, thank you very much. You're online. Dezinavel, really do appreciate you're also online. I can see Shiko, there is also online, and so many more who are right there. And somebody here, Andrew Okoth, is asking. Andrew Okoth wants to know when he has all these assets. You say that an M-Pesa is a different asset. I ask for transport is a different asset.
Yeah.
Should I then open different accounts for them?
Okay.
That's the question. But before we reach to answering all these questions, which we'll be doing 079000033307.
We're asking the questions are found here, and others are here. So what is the first thing that happens in a money cycle? The first thing is that the cash flow quadrant gives you earn money from it. This is the first step. Okay? Now, after earning, I'm sure you've had this, these lines being thrown out there with those who teach personal finance. And there's this saying, they keep saying that save what is left.
Yes.
It's been pushed out for so many years that we become blind to the damage it does in our subconscious mind. Okay? Now, when you're told to save what is left, what are you being asked to do first? When they say save what is left, they're asking you to do something first.
To first of all spend.
Exactly.
Spend, and then kakibaki.
Save.
Save.
So this is the second step to most people. Then whatever is left is what you do what?
Save.
Which is very difficult.
To save, actually.
Yes.
Okay? Psychologically, people don't understand the damage of this. And I'm going to demonstrate to you just now. And this is how most people are wired. Okay? So this is, we call this the incorrect money cycle. Incorrect. So if you're looking to financial freedom, the way you need to do it is this way. So I'll put it in green. So you first earn from the cash flow quadrant.
Yes.
So the correct way should be, the first thing you need to do is actually save. And then after saving, what is left is what you're supposed to spend. We had something else here we call the humanitarian responsibility, but we're not going to go to that. Basically, it's what people call charity. So this is the correct way of money cycle.
Save and then spend.
Yes. So you don't save what is left after spending. You spend what is left after saving. So what you want to do is you want to start training your brain, your mind, your subconscious. The moment I receive money like this, the first thing I need to do is what?
You save.
Save.
But why are you saving? That's the next question. Okay? At some point you said, save for a rainy day.
Yes.
What is a rainy day?
Kimeumana, job imeisha.
Okay.
Kimeumana, I'm incapacitated, somebody is sick.
Okay.
Now
all those answers you've given me, which one should your mind pick?
Like this, job imeisha.
Because the more clear you are to your mind, I've told you what happens.
Yeah, you're tracked.
But now you have all this. What is a rainy day? So if you're vague, what will you attract? Because the mind is also not very clear. Okay? So before going to the details about this one, let me demonstrate the power of these two. Okay?
Okay.
Let's take two members of Metropolitan National Sacco. So we're going to have member A and you're going to have member B, right? Now both of these two, let's assume they earn a net of 100,000.
That's
Okay.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
As we assume.
We assume, okay? Now we're going to say A follows the teachings of save what is left. Okay?
So A
So it's following correct.
Save, does earn, spend, and then save.
Yes. B follows the correct one.
Earn, save, then spend.
Yes. Okay. So let's assume it's end month. This 100,000 has hit the account. Okay? Now this person is trying to think about budgeting. So he comes and says, well, let me start with rent.
Yeah.
Psychologically, what do you think will happen to the mind of this person?
First of all, pay rent.
But how much rent will he be looking at? This is someone who can even say, let me take a house of 40,000. Do you know why? Because psychologically, the amount playing in the mind is 100,000. So he knows if I spend 40 in rent,
I have 60 remaining.
I have 60 remaining. Okay? So he goes, does shopping. Let's assume of 20,000. Okay? How much is still left in the mind?
He
I have
has
another 40
left.
Okay?
Yes.
So let's say bills. Let's say 10,000. So water, electricity, Wi-Fi, whatever it is. Okay? Then he says transport. Another 10,000. Okay? And then he says things like maybe credit or 1, 2, 3, let me give it 5,000. So I'm going to write others here. Okay? So the amount left here is actually 15,000. So the teaching that has been going on is, this is what you're supposed to put in the,
Save the 15.
this is what you're supposed to save. Okay? Now, you go put this money, you're saving it, but you're not very clear about what you want. So just saying a rainy day. Okay? And then something happens in the middle of that month. Maybe even spot something you like shoe. I like there's a question you mentioned about impulse buying.
Impulse buying, yeah. Waiwa was asking about the impulse buying, yes.
So imagine you're this type, and then you come across something you love, shoes that and this is something you were programmed from when you're very young. Okay, if you watch even cartoons, you see the ladies always talking about, let's go shopping, it's something very exciting, and they're all excited. It's all spending. Okay? So if you come across something that you feel you like, what is the probability that you're going to hit your account and withdraw some money from you? The probability is very high.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay?
Especially nowadays with mobile banking.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay? And what you're going to convince yourself is, end month I'll get another
100.
So it's okay, I can use this. And that's why I had Bonasio saying, when you're talking about this, it's very difficult for people to save. Because this little that ends up in savings here ends up getting consumed through those small things. And the reason why it's so easy to use this money, it's because you're not so clear as to why you're saving. Okay? Now this is person A. Now let me bring in person B who follows now the correct path. So this guy sits down and says, my focus is going to be I want a cash flowing asset by the end of this year. And the one I'm thinking about is I'm going to buy a car and I'm going to convert it to become a taxi. So what's the budget I'm looking for? Let's say 1 million. Okay? So remember now here, he has set a goal. Very clear. It's a taxi. Number 2, by the end of this year, so I have 12 months. Okay? Now that psychologically does something very big here. Because now the next thing he's going to ask himself is, how much then should I be saving, or should I be locking out of this 100,000 for me to attain my goal of the cash flowing asset? So this person will tell himself, I'll be putting half of this amount of money.
50,000.
Yes. So what does that do to his account? So the money comes in as 100,000 and 50 goes straight, let's say, to a fixed. That means he's left with 50,000. Now, do you think this person will be able to live in such a house?
No, definitely not.
So what will happen? Rent, ikienda sana sini 20. Okay? And of course, all these other things will be forced to squeeze them. Okay? Now, if I take Bwana CEO today and you, and I tell you, let's go visit B today, and he cooks for us lunch based on his budget in his house of 20,000, and then we leave. We say thank you, the lunch was good. Next weekend, we go to A, and he makes fix for us also lunch based on his budget. When we leave A, what kind of impression do you think we'll have about these two people?
Like A is a baller.
Aha.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm calling these people. That's what I'm calling the rich mindset.
Ah, so they become the rich mindset.
Yes. Because now from what you're observing, they seem to be doing so well, but what you're not realizing is there's nothing they're saving.
Yes.
So when you develop that mindset that the first thing I want to do is follow cash flow, 3 is the moment the money comes in, a percentage of it must go to a defined cash flowing asset I've set my eyes to. So that forces you to deny yourself. And that's why I keep hearing people saying it's good to teach children from a very young age to delay gratification. Okay?
Delay gratification.
Exactly. That's the idea behind this. So you're delaying. But if people, based on how our society is, this is going to attract more friends.
Definitely. Everybody wants someone who's throwing parties, man.
Yes. So let's proceed on with this guy. After 10 months, this guy has actually done something very important. He has fulfilled his goal. Okay? And now comes...
So which means, sorry to take you back. So which means B had set his mind to buy a taxi. So within 12 months, he has his taxi. Which means now he has an income, money generating asset.
That's where I'm going with this. So I explain this.
To add on what you're saying, the goal is very specific.
Goal
is very specific. Then the other thing, it has a time frame in 1 year.
Yes.
So I'm not only having a goal, but it's a goal and a time frame.
That's why next week's topic is very key. Okay? So see how we're all blending to each other.
Yes.
It must be very specific with the time frame. Because what you're doing is you're telling your mind, by this time is when I want it. You're a creator. So are you afraid of creating what you want? So you choose even the timeline when you want it. Okay?
Oh my.
So by doing that, you force yourself to lock this. So you won't care what the society thinks about you. You can even move to a bed seat of 5,000. Because you know, let me sacrifice now. And this applies to any age, even those who have just retired. By virtue of just setting one goal every year, and you focus on that, you're starting to build the assets. And that's where this diagram comes in now. So we have said you have your cash flowing asset here, sorry, cash flow quadrant. So we're saying the first thing here is when you earn money, it should go to savings.
Yes.
But now in savings, we are very specific and we're saying it has to go to a cash flowing asset.
Asset.
So in that example, B said he wanted a taxi. So that was cash flowing asset number one. So what happens is exactly what you mentioned. So by the end of 1 year, what this person has done is he has generated a second stream of income. Okay?
Yes.
So let's assume this brings around a net of 50,000 a month. Okay? So what that tells you now, after one year, our friend will still be at
100.
But where will he be?
150.
Exactly.
Because now the other one is bringing in.
Exactly.
50, yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Now when you do that, the emotions you're going to feel, you'll be very empowered, like, this thing really works. So you want even to do more.
It can be done.
It can be done.
Yes.
So you set your mind on the second one. This one is still here. Okay? So if you pick now these two and you say, I'll be saving 50%, that's the first thing I need to do. Then what you're aiming for is we're saying cash flowing asset 2. And that's why I told you I'm doing this with kids. Once we finish our program, we normally ask them to set 2 goals every year. And then we work with them. It's that practice element of it. So that we completely turn around the mindset for them to be doing this naturally, without even thinking. So if you do this for the second year, then what have you done? You've added a third one. Then you pick all this, continue doing the same thing. Then we come again. Cash flow asset 3. Now you have 4. Now at this point you can decide, wacha nijaribu ninunue hata mimi gari yangu personal. But now you're buying that personal car, you make sure that money is coming from this cash flowing assets. Such that you're not going to feel anything.
Yeah.
Because once if I've bought my own car, these still remain, they'll continue generating revenue for me.
Yes.
So this is the secret. So when you miss the point here and you start spending, hiyo tumeangusha. And this is when now the Sacco comes in. Because now once you have the right mindset, you've understood the cash flow quadrant, you've understood the 3 cash flowing habits, and you pick the third one forces you to do this. Okay? So now it's upon members to go to Metropolitan National Sacco, like, okay, what cash flowing assets do you have? So they can decide this year, let me target 2. So you can pick one from Metropolitan, product 1 and product 2. The idea is not how big it is. The idea is to reprogram your subconscious mind to a point to be able to do these things naturally. Okay? Like we say, these things take time. But as you're doing that now, you'll be surprised at the changes within 1 year that can happen in your life on focusing on this.
Within a year.
And the beauty about Sacco is it brings resources together. That's one of the biggest things people forget. Which means as an individual, if you can achieve this, then imagine yourselves as a group. You see the power?
Yes.
Okay? So now, that's for savings. So the focus should always be that, like that, over and over and over.
So that should be the cycle.
Yes. So what's
save.
Yes. Now what's going to happen is a point is going to reach whereby you're not working for money. Money is working for. Can you see it? Remember we talked about the cash flow quadrant. We said the people on the left-hand side are always chasing there, and the people on the right are finding ways of attracting. So here money is starting to work for you. The more you're adding them, the more you're releasing yourself from putting so much effort.
Yes. Because now this money is...
It's coming in.
It's coming in. It's working for you.
Where did you buy that liability from? You didn't struggle.
Yes.
It's your cash flowing assets that bought that car.
Yes.
Okay? So the problem is the way we are wired. When you follow the incorrect one, you're told to spend. So you want to spend, you want to buy a car. That's the first thing you want to buy. And that car is a liability. So you'll just be eating your pockets every now and then. You hear of people who own cars, but they drive it for a week. From there, they can't afford putting fuel. So it stays in the...
We have this group who keep saying, Niko Garage.
Yeah.
You know, we have these kind of guys who are always telling you, Niko Garage.
Exactly.
So that's where now they fall in.
Aha.
Oh my goodness, just hold it, because I want to take guys back.
Okay.
My goodness, you know, you're opening our mind to a point that I can actually see myself in some of those things, you know, and at some point I can see a friend.
Yes.
I know it's a friend who's watching, who's always telling me, Niko Garage. That's a liability. Do away with it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, it's Metro Business Cafe. We are opening ourselves up. We want to get to know how can we get ourselves from chasing the cat. You remember?
Yeah.
Remember from the from episode 1 where we had to stop chasing the cat and start attracting this cat. And how do you attract the cat? Is by changing your mindset. Remember, we have said it in so many other episodes that we have done here, that you attract what you think about. So if you're thinking about wealth creation, then wealth will come to you. Let's take a look at some of the snippets of what we have been going through. I'm seeing people asking, how can we get this episode 1, 2, and 3? Let's just give you a taste of what we have been doing and how you will get it. Remember, you can talk to us. Our SMS line is 0790-000-333, 0790-000-333. You can talk to us, ask us any question. It's also the line that you can use to send us any WhatsApp message that you like to talk to us. Remember, we are also on www.metro.
Metro,
Sacco.co.ke. And also you can get us on Dreamers
Club Africa.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's take a look at some of the things we have been going through on Metro Business Cafe.
We want to change that mindset of us being net borrowers. We want our members, potential members, our viewers, you know, to take a different approach and embrace the whole aspect of savings, because the one way of you know, actualizing your projects or maybe your objectives is through accumulation of savings, and then you can utilize that money for you know, to ensure that you know, you're able to undertake the various projects.
Always aim to increase your assets, because by virtue of increasing your assets, you're starting to build wealth. You know, kids will always be asking for things, whether it's school fees and all those things. So you can start planning early enough. But if you block your mind and don't know how can you call children liabilities, you're shying away, you're running away from the reality of what is.
The hard truth.
So what happens, a lot of parents get hit. Oh, my child is 3 years supposed to go to school. Now they start knocking at the Sacco. Can I take some loan for school fees? Your folks at up country, are they liabilities or assets?
Again, we're on air, but now after seeing what you've said, you just said, yes.
Exactly. So this helps you and I, the working nation. If you have this mindset, you start now looking in the future and saying, my parents are aging. I need to do something because I know they'll need my assistance. So even as you're planning your future in terms of finance, you remember to place them. We need to break these assets into 2 parts. The first one, we call it the cash flowing assets.
Cash
Flowing assets.
Okay.
And the second one will be non-cash flowing assets.
Uh-huh.
So what you do when you're starting is, you try and build what we call the cash flowing assets. So cash flowing assets are assets that are bringing money to you on a regularly basis. Non-cash flowing asset means, yes, they'll increase in value, but they're not bringing money to you on a regularly basis. Let's assume you're paying rent here. You live in this house and you pay rent.
Yes.
Is this an asset or a liability?
It is a liability.
Good. Now let's assume you've built this house and you're living in it. Is this an asset or a liability?
Depends on how you look at it.
Go ahead,
Because
explain.
you'll be paying for utilities.
Okay, you'll be paying for
Utilities.
So money is moving where?
From the pocket? Yes.
But what does finance teach us about a house?
It's an asset.
It's an asset.
Exactly. Wrong knowledge. So this is also a liability. The third one, you've rented this house to someone.
As an asset.
It's an asset.
Exactly. Because money is coming into your pocket. So simply this is how we need to start looking at things.
Thank you very much. Those are just the snippets of what we have been doing. Episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. Tonight is the 4th episode. I'm seeing a lot of people asking questions, and thank you so much. There's Ngesha Charles Dickens. Where are your offices? Metropolitan National Sacco. Where are your offices in Kisumu?
We are at the Insurance Plaza. Yes.
And immediately he goes there, he needs to know, see so and so, and they'll assist you up quick and fast.
The branch manager will definitely assist Bonadicans.
Okay.
Yes.
And where are you situated, actually, within the country?
We have a number of branches. Actually, we have 8 branches. We have a branch in Kisumu town. We have a branch in Bungoma. We have a branch in Nakuru. We have a mother branch in Kiambu, Limuru, Thika, and our head office is at Chai House, Koinange Street, and then we have our newest branch, which is in Kajiado, which is serving our members from the whole of Kajiado County. Yes.
Okay, so anybody who wants to go to that, and of course they can come to the head office.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
George Lavish, thank you very much. You're online tonight, and you say, hi Mike, you have just opened our mind. Thank you for tuning our minds. Thank you for tuning our minds. Stanley says, enlightening interaction. We need more, please. Thank you, Kate, saying learning a lot, and so many others who are online tonight. Remember, we'll be doing this each and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is the Metro Business Cafe. We will be teaching you these things. Just trying to learn and understand how can we change our mindset onto how to create and generate and attract, most importantly, attract wealth. Somebody asked, when I have all these assets, can I open business? Can I open accounts for each one of them?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's the one we have. As for transport, you have chickens, you have all those.
I have M-Pesa, I have a butchery, I have sell water.
Yeah. The answer to that question is, if you choose to open an account for each of these assets, it's going to be very expensive for you. So have one account, but the most important thing for you to do is actually ensure that your record keeping talks about all those different assets. So you're able to track your cash flows in and out from a point of view of your own records, but the money can all be going into one account.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm able to keep my records and know my ask for transport today or this month, it has brought in 30,000.
Exactly.
My M-Pesa has brought in 100,000.
Exactly.
My butchery has brought in this.
Very true.
So accumulatively, I have all this money,
Exactly.
but going to
One account, but on the paper, you can actually look at them as different accounts.
Yes.
Because virtue of opening accounts for all of them is going to be very costly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you're noticing and habits like for example what we have seen, the earn, and then first of all spend, and then save, and then now there's the earn, save, and spend.
Yes.
What are some of the things that you're noticing with the customers who are coming to open up?
What I would like to confirm is that majority of our members, they actually follow this correct cash flow money cycle.
Okay,
so
earn, save, then spend.
Yes, and even looking at, when you look at a payslip, if all of us were given an an option, we could not even be paying taxes. And on the same note, if you look at, for example, for majority of our members who are employer based, you'll find that they actually save, and what is left for them is after
your tithe.
Yeah.
So what should I tithe? What should I, within all that?
I think the most important thing is, if you look at what Andrew has been sharing with us here, he's starting with the cash flow quadrant.
Yes.
At the end of the day, whether you're in business, whether you're employed, what comes to you is the income.
Yes.
So the most important thing is the mindset. Set your mind that I want first to save before I can spend. Yes. Whether you're in business or whether you're employed. Yes.
The rainy days, those are the things that make us usually come to you to ask for a loan.
Yes.
What are some of the trends are you seeing people coming in for rainy days? I mean, is school fees a rainy day? Is a wedding a rainy day? I'm seeing a lot of pre-weddings nowadays and rashios everywhere. We're in so many WhatsApp groups. People telling us they're going for rashios. Are those rainy days? What are some of the trends are you seeing for people coming to borrow?
I think Andrew has hammered the point home. He said we stop talking about the rainy day. Let us be specific. I want to buy this cup. So how do I do it? It's either I come to Metro, I approach my Sacco Metro, they give me a facility, or I make an arrangement to start saving every month for the next, say, 12 months. Then I'll be able to buy the cup, this cup.
Yes.
So the first thing is, let us be specific. In 1 year's time, this is what I want to achieve. So then from there, how do I want to achieve it? I think that's the most important thing.
So if in the next 1 year you want to get married, please do not add us in those groups. Just be specific.
And just to add on to what Bonasio has mentioned, the power behind this is what I just concluded. If you want any liabilities, it should come from where?
From the cash flow in assets.
Okay? So I don't care what the liability is, whether it's a wedding, it's what. First build the asset that will be generating the revenue to fund that liability. That's the mindset we want.
Okay.
The problem is we're programmed to do the opposite. In fact, there's no way we're taught about assets. Even though we're taught, you remember the other day we were talking and we were laughing when I asked our children, you get?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It shows you how lost we are as a nation. But this knowledge is so powerful because the simple application of this will surprise people on what it can do. So a wise person can decide, how old am I? Okay, fine. So every year I'm going to target 2 assets. So 1, 2. The other year you have a total of 4. Then you can tell yourself, let me pick one that can start bringing money for me for retirement. So if it's that M-Pesa, whatever profit is coming into, you know that money is geared towards your retirement, nothing else. You pick your second one. Now this one, let me deal with things like, let's assume, risk management. So health insurance for my family, things like those ones, you fund from there. So the idea is to train yourself that any liability that is going to come your way going forward should be funded by
the cash flow.
Cash flowing.
Yes.
Because you see, like, think of it this way. You go back to these teachings and they tell you, we advise you to have at least 6 months savings in case of a rainy day.
Yes.
Okay? Now let's take these 2 people here. Let's assume this guy has already bought the taxi, and this one is still keep responding, nitaanza kesho, okay? And then, let's assume he saves this amount. So he saves for 6 months. Let's assume that he has the 600,000 saved up. What do you think will happen to his mind?
Well, I have the 600,000 and I'm on the A side, and I'm a baller.
Yep. So the idea is, your subconscious, since you're very small, has been taught, if you have savings for 6 months, you're safe. So you start saving 15. The moment it hits 600,000, your mind will be like, yes,
I'm safe now.
I'm safe now. So anything above that, now let's ball.
Let's do the
You
part.
will even realize that, exactly. So let's assume he's got there, and this guy is just working towards, so let's assume he gets 2 taxes. So that means he's getting the 100 plus 100 from those 2. So already this one is making twice as much as this one. Then let's assume now the COVID comes in, and both of them lose their job. After 6 months, how long has it been right now since COVID struck?
It's been 1 year, 4 months, and 2 days.
So where would this guy be? By following that teaching.
He'll be on ground zero.
Exactly. But what will happen to this guy?
This person has assets which are still bringing in.
Exactly.
Money, yes, or income.
Or income.
And that's why we say it's all about the mindset. So you've been programmed. That's why I talked about the right teachings. You know, you think about that 6 months. I kept asking myself, why did they come up with this 6 months? Why not 2 months? Why not 24 months? And I realized something. If you track back, you realize getting jobs was very easy. Like at the time of my father, if you just had a certificate, you were guaranteed of a job.
True.
But things are changing. So if you keep going back, you will realize that whoever came up with 6 months was very sure you could not miss a job.
Yes, back then.
Back then.
Yes.
But does that apply today?
No.
But they're still teaching us 6 months. And that's when I talked about the right knowledge, adjusting to how things are really currently working.
So pretty much you're telling us we have to readjust our settings.
Oh yes.
So we're no longer in the old
Forget, that's
factory
what I'm
settings.
saying, stop saving for a rainy day. Save for assets. Because when the rainy day happens, the assets are there to take care of you.
I love Metro Business Cafe. As in, we already know that we have to stop chasing the cat. And now we know that we are completely doing away with the rainy day.
Yes.
You know, in this time and age, it's no longer raining.
No.
It's all about focus.
Yes. And the focus is on what? Assets.
We have a different thing that is going on right now, and it's a really bad trend.
Yeah.
And I want to get it from both of you.
Yeah.
One, I have seen the CBK is talking about we have to start taming these mobile lending things on platforms. Yeah. Two, we have what we're calling the peer pressure. I kept thinking peer pressure actually just comes from teenagers, but it's worse with the grown-ups. It's far much worse.
That's why the question of impulse buying.
Impulse buying. While I was asking impulse buying, how do they deal with it? I know you'll be answering that shortly. But this issue of I'm running to you because I saw my friend with this, and I also need to get it. I saw my friend doing this, and I also need to get into it. How do we tame this, Benson? How do we tame this kind of, before we even come to impulse buying, how do we tame this issue of peer pressure? So-and-so has started up an M-Pesa shop. I need to. I hear it's bringing in cash. I need to. So-and-so has bought in this car. I need the other model. So-and-so, it has gone to a point of forms.
Yeah.
So-and-so has bought this brand. I need the next one.
Some even fuliza to pay for alcohol.
He's sitting on the table, so I still have bottom finger. Yes. I need to buy the older one. How do we tame? How do we, not even taming, how do we change this mindset?
Definitely, Mike, is through what we are doing here, giving people the right training, education, sharing key insights, and that will lead to financial freedom. Because why are people doing all this?
Yes.
Is actually what we are going through. Yes. So the solution is what we are providing here.
Changing mindset.
Lack of financial education. When we started, we talked about my people perish.
Lack of knowledge.
There you go. So the knowledge they have is what you see coming out. That's how we program our society. It's a fierce competition. For what? When you get to 50, who will you be competing with? When it gets to retirement, everyone is going home. But what will you have then?
Yes.
Okay, that's the question people need. And that's why I keep talking about the mindset. Very, very, very important. Because the way you're programmed in your subconscious affects who you become in the future. Okay? It is a very sad state to see, borrowing that goes on in this country.
Yes.
And what that money is normally used for. He just gave a very good example. Someone with Fuliza to buy a bottle and probably is buying that to compete with someone who's seated there. So, okay, fine, you've shown everyone you can get that. Then you walk out with the damaged. Okay? And for you to put that stand, it shows it's something that you do frequently. Nasikia wanasemanga itajipanga kesho.
Tujape leo.
Get?
Yes.
A total wrong mindset. And that's why I told you, there are so many people in big positions, after they retire, they just kwisha. And you find someone from the slum starting with a box of sweets. The next time you come, he's added fruits.
Yes.
The next time he's put up a kibanda. Next time it's a shop, a retail, a wholesale. The next thing is bought, land somewhere. He's trying to build a house, rental houses. Okay?
Yes.
So it's nothing to do with physical money. Let's get out of there. It's all here. Because whether we like it or not, we are creators.
Yes. We are creators.
And we create through the thoughts we hold. Now you can believe the ones that you hold, but what people forget is there's a monster behind that is controlling you and you're not aware of it. That's why we started with the subconscious.
Subconscious.
So whenever you're trying to do something towards not even just personal finance, other things, and you're struggling, that's an indication that your program in the subconscious is going against what your conscious wants. So the idea is, now I know what it is. And that's where the concept of persistence comes in, like that water. Keep doing it.
Persist.
Yeah.
Persist.
Persistence.
What did our great athlete tell us last year? Enos. No man is limited.
Limited.
What does that mean?
Yes.
You can achieve anything as long as it's all here.
People now are really opening up the mindset. We are really hammering now on the mindset.
Good.
George is back again. He says, "Hi Mike, I have come once more. Can you ask Metropolitan if someone who is getting 20,000, can he or she in their Sacco, in your Sacco?
Yes.
Can they come and save in your Sacco? And what is the minimum one can save?"
Oh yes.
And he says 20K.
Yes.
What's the minimum?
They can actually, they can actually come and save with us. In terms of the minimum, again, we go back to what we have been discussing. They'll be guided by whatever goal they want to achieve. Yes.
So we go back to earn, save.
Yes.
Then now spend.
Spend, exactly.
So 20,000 is what you're earning. Take us through that. I'm earning 20,000.
Yeah.
what do I need to do? Because we have these people who come with Kizungu Mingi and they tell us this is the percentage. You need to take out this percentage. I don't know, crossover with this other one, and then you get the minimum.
Yes. Let's keep things very simple.
Yes.
Follow the correct money cycle. What does it tell you? Save first thing. Okay? Now we've gone ahead and we've told you why you're saving. That's a question you need to ask yourself. So what is your goal? If your goal is to save for Emma Kiba of 15,000, then how long do you expect to raise that 15,000? What if someone else wants to get, set up a shop for 100,000? Both of them earning 20,000. You see, now it boils down to individual. What is your goal?
What's your goal?
And that's why we talked about understanding yourself, knowing who you really are, your value per minute. This way it all fits in. So when you set that goal, it's for you to determine how bad you want it. If you want it so bad, you can even decide to move in with a friend. You'll be saving the entire 20. Okay?
Yes.
So the idea is, let's not complicate these things. It boils down to you. Follow this.
Earn, save, spend.
When you say save, pause, kabla uende kwa spend. Why are you saving?
So at the saving point,
yes,
that's where now I need to know why am I saving? Why am I heading with this saving?
There's nothing like rainy day. That is just...
Already on Metro Business Cafe, we have done away with rainy days.
Yes.
It's no longer raining.
So it's about cash flowing assets.
While you were asked a question, she said, please talk about, as you're talking about saving, talk about impulse buying.
So now, once you finish this, we move to spend. Now spend out to bring in things we learned in primary school, but they're very important and totally neglected. So we look at things we call needs and wants. Now this is where impulse comes in. So when we're talking about needs, basically we're saying these are things we need for survival. You can't do without food.
Yes.
So when you're spending money on food, that's tick. Okay? Let's assume you don't have shoes and you want to buy your first pair.
Yes.
I'll call it a need. But if you have 10 pairs in your wardrobe, why are you going for the 11th one? That's a want.
Okay.
Now, when you start teaching yourself, your conscious understands this, and it starts to push down the subconscious, reprogramming it, then what will happen is you will start naturally cutting down on this.
On the wants.
Because this is where a lot of money goes to waste. And that money, you're going to channel it where?
Into your cash flows.
And that's why we're saying it's all about setting the goal you want. Because when you set that, now you set every other thing else in motion. And that's what I was talking about, how bad do you want it. So the problem is, from when we're very small, we are taught to be consumers.
Yes.
Okay? I gave that example of even cartoons of young girls rushing to malls and let's go shopping, and we don't realize the impact this does to our children. So it becomes something like a fashion or a style. You know, you go to campus, you see them doing the same thing, we're going shopping. Because I'd like one day to hear people talking about, let's go invest. But because it's not covered anyway, it's just consumption. So by the time you're getting to be, at the age of the lady who asked the question, it's the subconscious. It is so fun in her. She's struggling to find out how to beat this. And that's why the last couple of years they've come up with this concept they call the savings challenge.
Yes.
Different institutions are trying to run that, their Facebook pages. They're trying to get people who are trying to fight these bad habits to work together. Okay? So as an individual, it will take a lot of discipline because the subconscious remembers 95%.
Yes.
So the conscious is what wants to change this. So my advice to her is to also look for people similar. And soon we'll be running, things like those ones on on our social media to get people together on the practice side so that we need to help them change that mindset. But as an individual, the way to do about that is give yourself a big goal here.
Yes.
Because when you give yourself a big goal here, then you know the first thing is you have to save. So it will cut down a lot on your spending. But if you continue following the other way, pesa itakuwa inaishia hapa.
Once.
Exactly.
That's where all the impulse buying is coming in.
Exactly. This is where it all comes in. Okay? And as I liked what you talked about, the peer pressure on people and all that. People need to understand that the future is yours. You're not living here for someone else. And you should just go to the villages and see people who've retired who have very good jobs. Just look at their state. And I promise you this, if you continue that way, you'll join them. That's the hard truth. So you're being given the opportunity to do something today. And the secret is what we're taking you through, what Metropolitan National Sacco is taking you through. This is very, very powerful. And the beauty about this thing is once you start with the first one, the sweetness someone feels, you just want to do more of that.
And the fulfillment.
And before you know it, you've grown so much, your Sacco has grown so much. That's the idea behind this.
As we end up, because I know Kevin will be telling me to wind up shortly, we have a few minutes to go. Okay. A lot of people are pulling away from each other. Let's say, for example, we come, we don't want to get into chamas, we don't want to get in, into groups. Even husband and wives. This one is saving this side, this one is saving this side.
Yeah.
What, as we wind up tonight, and as we start now thinking about save, then cash flow before we even go to spend, because again you have opened our mind to, we don't always need to first of all end up to spending.
Yes.
We have to come to then we save with a clear mindset and a goal onto the cash flow we want before we spend it. What's your advice, especially to families, on how to save together? How to come together and do this. Do you have such kind of facilities, or do I have to come in as an individual?
Thank you, Mike, for that question. Yes, when you look at the kind of products that we offer to our members, we have products that are to be consumed by individuals. There are those other products that are to be consumed by event groups, people that have, that have been able to come together collectively, and they are looking forward to a common cause. So as a couple, or maybe as a family, we even allow members to open joint accounts.
Okay.
Yeah, and once they open such accounts, they can now start saving. So through now those different products, our members, be it individuals, be it groups, be it couples, they can be able to open such accounts and start operating them, and then now they start walking towards the journey of realizing whatever goal they want to achieve. Yes.
And as March was saying, and save.
Yes.
And then during at that point of saving, is there a limit? Like you cannot go lower than this, but you can go up to this. When for example, as an individual and at the same time as a group.
See, we look at it from a point, are we at any risk? If, for example, you start saving 500, would the institution be at risk? Definitely no. But obviously, it would work in our favor if members were to save as much money as they can afford. But looking at, a risk perspective, you can save as little as you can, even 50 bob. In a day, it's still, it's still money. And I believe when you decide that you want to walk towards a certain journey, you start with the first step. So members can save whatever amount they want to save. Even 10 bob is still allowed.
Start.
Yes.
The thing is start.
You start. And the beauty about it, no institution will charge you for savings. Yeah, although in the previous past we have seen some institutions that used to charge their customers for savings. But we at Metro, we don't charge our customers for savings. And they can do this. We have quite a number of platforms. They can make their savings through through a mobile banking platform.
Yes.
Where they just dial star 268 hash, and they're able to do that.
268
hash. They're able to access the mobile banking platform. For savings, what they need to do is just to go to the Ripa na M-Pesa pay bill, and then they use the code 944600, and then they're able to save to their accounts. Yes.
So start today. It does not matter how much it is. Start
it's
now.
Very convenient. Nowadays, even ATM cards, they do allow deposits.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it does not matter. The thing is, if you can save daily, it does not matter how much.
Exactly.
Save 50 shillings a day, accumulatively in a month, you'll see how much you have. You know, it will wow you.
It's not about the amount. It's about
the mindset.
Yes. So when you start with 50-50, you're starting to do is you're starting to reprogram your subconscious.
Yes.
The mind does not know 1,050 shillings. It doesn't know an old person and a young person. It just knows how to react based on what you're telling it. So that 50, you see, Barao, you're building something that in the future you'll be very proud of. Because a point will come where you'll be doing it naturally without even thinking.
To just be coming out naturally.
Yeah.
Quickly, as we end our show tonight, just give us key highlights on what we have learned tonight. One is, I know that we have to do away with rainy days. Rainy days are no longer in our vocabulary here at Metro Business Cafe.
Correct. So the idea, the secret here then comes from what we covered last week, where we said always aim to follow cash flow habit number 3. And cash flow habit number 3 is telling us once money comes from the cash flow quadrant, the first thing you're supposed to do is go to an asset. That is exactly what is happening here.
Yes.
So anytime you earn, make sure the first thing you do is you save towards a cash flowing asset. And a lot of people tend to think like, I'll wait until I start earning for me to start thinking about cash flowing assets. No. We've said it's not about the money. You can start thinking about the ideas today.
Yes.
What are some of the cash flowing assets I can think about? You can Google, you can find different ones. That will start to train your mind to think of opportunities. And you'll be surprised when you start training your mind like that, somehow money just starts showing up. A lot of people have this perception, I need money before something, before I even learn these things. And so what happens is they get stuck there. And that I'll be showing you actually when we're talking about just a brief introduction to entrepreneurship. And you'll be able to see why about 95% of SMEs in Kenya never go beyond 5 years. It's something very simple. So parting words is earn, save towards cash flowing assets.
Yes.
And if you want to spend money in liabilities, make sure that money is coming from the cash flowing assets.
Cash flow. My goodness. You cannot hear this anywhere else, only on Metro Business Cafe. Remember, to all of you who are talking to us, thank you very much. Our number remains 0790 000 0790 000. That's our SMS line, and it's also our I was just about to say our M-Pesa line, but it's our WhatsApp line. And we're really grateful to all of you who are talking to us. This is episode 4. You can find these episodes, just go to our YouTube channels and just click Metro Business Cafe, and you will see all of them from 1 to tonight. They'll be on YouTube. You will be able to access them. And by the way, if you talk to us on 0790 000 on WhatsApp, we'll also be able to send you links on how you can access us. Even before we do an episode, we'll also be sending you all this on how you can access us. And actually, we can send you snippets of what we have done before. So remember, 0790 000 is our SMS line, and it's also our WhatsApp line. And we can keep talking, we can keep conversing, and we change our mindsets. Thank you very much, Benson. Really do appreciate.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to the next Thursday already. Andrew, thank you very much. Really do appreciate. And to you, our viewers, you are the reason why we are here, to talk to you and to just go through this kind of mind-changing experiences that we are having. This is the Metro Business Cafe. Remember, we have now done away with rainy days. Just as we did away with chasing the cat, we are now doing away with rainy days. Save towards a goal. My name is Michael Njenga. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Good night and God bless.
More? Is it the physical amount or is it your mindset?
Doesn't matter how much it is, but where you put it and what you do with it.
Starting this and every Thursday, join us on our live stream from 7 to 9 p.m. as we discuss matters money, business and wealth creation on our live stream only on Metro Business Cafe.